Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the City of Madeira Beach Code Enforcement Hearing. My name is Bart Valdez, and I'm the appointed Special Magistrate to hear today's cases. I'm a practicing attorney and have been a member of the Florida Bar for over 20 years. I've been appointed to this position in accordance and with the authority set forth in Chapter 162 Florida statutes. It is my role to fairly and objectively review the matters presented. As such, I would like to advise you of certain matters related to today's proceedings. Today's matters will be heard in the order that they appear on the agenda. Every effort will be made to hear all persons having relevant evidence, argument, or comments to offer related to the specific case that is being heard. If you wish to speak today, it is necessary that you be sworn in just a few moments by the city attorney. In all cases, the city has the burden of proof. The city will present its case first. The respondent or property owner then will be given the opportunity to refute the city's allegations. Formal rules of evidence do not apply to this proceeding. However, I will exert every effort to ensure that fundamental fairness is afforded to all parties. After hearing all relevant evidence, I will issue an order. The order will be reduced to writing, and you will be provided with a copy by mail. Therefore, please make sure that we have your current address. Additionally, you are advised that I do not have the authority to grant you a variance, permit, or special exception of any kind. My role is solely to determine whether a city code has been violated and to provide you a reasonable time to correct the violation by whatever means is available to you. Please be advised that you may be subject to a fine and a lien may be recorded on your property if the violation is not corrected by the compliance deadline. If you wish to present any information to me today, and this includes any members of the public that want to be heard, then it is necessary that you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth. Therefore, at this time, the city attorney will swear in any witnesses.
You want me to go ahead and swear in everybody?
Yeah, can you go ahead and swear in, Mr. Trask?
Anybody that's going to testify, because they could stand up, please raise your right hand. I'm going to swear you're under oath. Anyone that's going to testify today, you swear that the testimony you're about to give is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Okay, the first case on the agenda is case number 2021.019. Property is located at 14801 Gulf Boulevard. Is the city ready to proceed?
We are.
Go ahead, Mr. Trask.
Okay, I would call Deputy Morin to testify today. Deputy is sitting right beside me. Deputy, if you could state your full name, please, and your job responsibilities here at the City of Madeira Beach.
My name is Deputy Jared Ryan Moraine. I am Deputy with the Taos County Sheriff's Office, currently assigned to the City of Madeira Beach, where one of my responsibilities is the enforcement of the city code.
Thank you. This particular property at 14801 Gulf Boulevard, is this a property that came to your attention by way of proactive code enforcement, or was this a complaint?
I believe it was a complaint. We did receive a complaint, and as a result of the complaint, we followed up on it and observed the violations.
Okay, so the property itself, with that address of 14801 Gulf Boulevard, who's the property owner?
The property is listed to Frederick Road Realty.
Okay. And how do you know that?
That is what is listed on the property appraiser's website.
Is that also set forth on the tax collector's website?
That is correct.
And that's reflected in the documents that we have labeled as pages 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 of the packet?
That is correct.
Okay. Who did the inspection of the property?
Deputy Snyder.
Okay. And when did Deputy Snyder go out to the property?
Deputy Snyder initially went out to the property on March 5th.
And when he went out to March 5th, what did he find?
He found a large collection of garbage, trash, and debris around the property, several items in states of ill repair, including structural damage to the building. There was holes in the stucco that had actually fallen to the ground below. Some of the beams you could see clearly all the way through them.
All right. So can you tell me whether or not that those were code violations of the city code?
They are.
And what code violations are they?
Well, he referenced the section 1469, maintenance of exterior premises, that covers all of those.
Okay, did he also cite section 14-70, general maintenance of the premises?
Not in the initial courtesy letter.
You could pull up the courtesy letter that is page 8 and 9 in the packet. It looks like it's dated March 5th. Tell me whether or not you recognize that document.
I do.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I do see 1470 here.
Okay. This item on pages 8 and 9, this courtesy letter, this was provided by Deputy Snyder to the property owner?
That is correct.
And how is this courtesy letter sent to the property owner?
It is mailed to him.
Okay. And did this letter provide the property owner a specific date and time to come into compliance with the code sections that were cited?
It did, March 15th.
Okay. Was the property brought into compliance by March 15th?
It was not.
Okay. Now, I know in the packet there are some photographs that for some reason or another they were enlarged and they don't truly reflect the information that I want to show you today. So we've reprinted the photographs that were on pages 10 through 45, and I've got them here in front of me, and we're going to submit them to the special magistrate in a second. I'd like you to take a look at these photographs, and we're going to go ahead and label them by number so we have a clear record. So photograph number 10, page 10, can you tell us what that depicts?
That shows a large crack in the corner of the structure that supports the roof of the building.
Does it also show the ceiling coming loose?
It does.
Okay. Next, I'm going to show you what I'm going to mark as number 11. For page 11, what does this reflect?
It shows a large section of stucco on the bottom half of a beam that has fallen, as well as some paneling over one of the canopies.
All right, and photograph, we're going to label as number 12. What does that depict?
It's a closer shot of the stucco falling from the structure of the building.
All right, I'm moving on to 13. What does that reflect?
A closer photo of the same, showing that you can see clearly through the entire beam.
Number 14, what does that reflect?
A section of stucco that is falling from the structure as well.
15?
General garbage, trash, debris, and part of the stucco that has fallen to the pavement below.
16, what does that show?
Accumulation of garbage, trash, and debris behind the vacuums.
For 17?
It's a larger general overall photo of the entire structure, including the areas we just spoke about.
17?
An overall photo of the south end of the parking lot, including all the vacuums.
18?
Accumulation of garbage, overflowing trash at the vacuums.
All right, 19?
A close-up of the same.
Showing you 20 now. What does that reflect?
It's another angle of additional garbage, trash, and debris located behind the vacuums along the fence line.
21?
Additional garbage, trash, and debris throughout the property.
22?
It's another vacuum with an overflowing trash can.
23?
It shows a structure around a dumpster, a wooden fence that is falling down in poor state of repair.
24?
Close-up of the same structure.
Okay, I'd like to go through the rest of the documents that we have in the packet. Did the property owner bring the property into compliance within the time requested in the first courtesy letter, which was March 15th?
He did not.
So did the Deputy Snyder go back out to the property again to determine that it was not in compliance?
He did.
Okay, and when did he go out the next time?
On the 17th.
And did he issue another courtesy letter on the 17th?
He did.
All right. And was that also mailed to the property owner?
It was.
All right. And did it also cite the same code sections on March 17th?
It did.
And did it give another compliance date for the property to be brought into compliance?
It did, of March 27th.
Okay. Was the property in compliance by March 27th?
It was not.
All right. Was a hearing set for today, obviously we're here on it, a code violation of the same code sections that were cited in the previous letters.
That's correct.
All right, I want you to turn to page 46 of the packet and tell us what that document is.
It is the notice of hearing for the special magistrate.
So today at 2 o'clock?
That is correct.
All right, and followed by the statement of violation, a request for hearing on page 49 and 50?
That is correct.
Okay. On this document, page 49, does this reflect the chronology of events that Deputy Snyder went through to determine the property was in non-compliance or in violation of the code?
That is correct.
So it lists in paragraphs 1 through 6, that chronology of events?
That is correct.
Okay. And next, or lastly, I wanted you to take a look at pages 51 and 52 and tell us what that document is.
So 51 and 52 is the affidavit of service. It's an affidavit completed by Deputy Snyder affirming that he did mail, both certified and regular mail, a copy of the notice and hearing to the property owner, as well as he posted the property as well.
Okay. Has anybody gone out to the property within the last couple of days to determine how much work has been done on the property?
There has.
Okay. And who went out to the property to determine whether it was in violation still?
The city building inspector, Mr. Frank DeSantis.
Okay. Are you aware of the photographs that were taken?
I am.
Okay. So I'd like to start off with numbering these photographs, starting at where we left off, which was photograph 24. This is going to be photograph 25. First one. And can you tell us what that photograph depicts?
It is a partial demolition of some of the affected areas, specifically next to the full-service sign.
All right, let's turn to the next page, 26, and tell us what that depicts.
It shows the removal of some of the horizontal beams that were affected and noted in the previous violations.
So the property owner has done some work.
That is correct.
Okay. So next, 27, photograph 27.
Also, it's a different angle depicting the removal of some of the affected horizontal beams.
And 28, same.
More of the same.
All right. What does photograph 29 reflect?
It shows that the sign, the full-service sign, is not completely affixed to the building because the horizontal beam was removed, allowing only a portion of the sign to actually be safely and secure to the building.
All right, let's go to 30, which would be the next page. What does that reflect?
It shows the previously mentioned large crack at the corner at the top of the horizontal and vertical beams.
And the next page we'll mark as 31. What does that show?
A different angle of the same damage on the corner.
All right, and then 32, the next page, what is that?
Also a different angle of the same damage.
We have two more photographs. 33, what does that reflect?
It is different angles of the same horizontal beams that were removed.
And 34, the last photograph?
Is also a different angle of the removal of the horizontal beams and the full-service sign that's only partially attached.
Okay, so some work has been done then. Some is not complete yet, correct?
That is correct.
All right, so the property is still not in compliance then with the code section dealing with the maintenance of premises?
That is correct.
Okay. Is the property in compliance with regard to the other code section that was cited, which is 1469, the cleanup of the garbage, trash, and debris? Is that cleaned up?
Yes, the garbage, trash, and debris has been cleaned up.
All right, so we're just talking about some more work to be done to bring into compliance with section 14-70.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you. I have no other questions. I would tender into evidence at this time the packet, which consists of pages 3 through 9, the photographs starting at 10 through 34, which I'm going to hand to you in a moment, and then the remainder of the packet on this particular case, which would be items starting at page 46 and ending on page 52.
Mr. Trask, that's fine. I'll admit them into evidence. You want it all to be as composite Exhibit 1, or do you want to do the photos as do the agenda packet as 1 and then the photos as 2 and 3?
I would just like to do it as all one composite exhibit.
I'll accept it all in as one composite exhibit. If you can just get that to I'll hand it to the clerk when we're done as one composite exhibit.
I don't have any other questions of the deputy. I will have one other witness, though, and I think that someone is here on this case.
All right, hold on just 1 second. Deputy, can you spell your last name for me, please?
Yes, it's Moren.
All right, thank you, Deputy. Okay, is there anyone here on behalf of the owner of this property, 14801, or anybody on behalf of the respondent? Anybody here from Frederick Road Realty, or anybody here on behalf of the respondent?
Well, I'm mistaken then.
Okay. All right, Mr. Trask, go ahead and call your second witness.
I would call the building official, Mr. DeSantis. Sir, you've already been sworn in. If you could please briefly state your job responsibilities here at the city and your full name.
My full name is Frank DeSantis. I'm the building official for the city of Madeira Beach and building code administrator.
Have you had the opportunity to look at this property that we're talking about right now, which is the car wash at 14801 Gulf Boulevard?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Have you inspected it since some of the work has been done on the property?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Is it in compliance with that code section 14-70, which was cited as being failure to maintain the premises?
No, it's not.
Okay. What needs to be done to bring it into compliance?
A lot more selective demolition of the top beams, the structure. A lot of that needs to come back down.
You consider it a life safety issue because of the falling debris?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I don't have any other questions for the building official. Thank you.
Okay, one more time. Anyone here on behalf of the respondent in case number 2021.019, 14801 Gulf Boulevard? Anyone here on behalf of Frederick Road Realty? Okay. Mr. Trask, any other witnesses?
No other witnesses?
All right, we'll go ahead and open up the portion of the hearing for public comment. Are there any members of the public that would like to comment in regard to case number 2021.019 and the property located at 14801 Gulf Boulevard? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public comment. Ms. Trask, you want to go ahead and give me a conclusion and tell me what the city's looking for on this one?
Yes, so I think it's pretty clear, since we have undisputed evidence that the property is still in violation of Section 14-70. It is in compliance with 14-69. We're asking that you give the property owner 30 days to bring the property into compliance and levy a fine of $250 a day should the property not be brought into compliance by that time. Obviously, some work has been done. We believe that they'll probably be in compliance within that 30 days, but it is a life safety issue. We're concerned about it.
All right, so the order will just state to bring the property in compliance with the terms set forth in the notice of violation?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and find, based upon the preponderance of the evidence, that the property owner is in violation of Section 14.70 based upon the testimony of Deputy Moraine and also Mr. DeSantis. And I do find that 30 days is a reasonable time to compel compliance, and due to the health safety issues, $250 a day thereafter is appropriate. Anything else on case number 2021.019?
No, sir.
Let's move on to the next case on the agenda, which is case number 2021.023, 604 Normandy Road. Is the city ready to proceed?
Yes, we are.
Go ahead, Mr. Trask.
Is anyone here on this particular case? Mr. Stepanek? No. Okay, thank you. All right, so I would call the deputy again. Deputy, are you familiar with this property located at 604 Normandy Road here in Madeira Beach?
I am.
Okay, and can you tell me who the property owner is and how you know that?
It's Mr. Joseph Stepanek, and he is familiar. We have had a previous and recent code case involving the same behavior.
All right. So, and you know that he's the property owner based upon what?
The indication on the property appraiser and my personal contact with him.
All right, and also the tax collector here in Pinellas County?
That is correct.
All right. And so that is reflected on pages 53 through 57 of the packet, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Has this property been found in found in violation of Section 110-176 within the last 5 years?
It has,
Okay, and when was the last time that it was found in violation?
during the last special magistrate hearing.
Okay, last month then?
That is correct.
Okay. As some backup to that, I'd like to go through the rest of the packet. And on page 58 of the packet, it shows Notice of Special Magistrate Hearing. Are you familiar with that document?
I am.
Okay. And it's dated April the 14th, 2020. Was that issued to the property owner?
It was.
Okay. And what were the citations or violations set forth in that letter?
It was additional short-term rental violation.
Okay. What is the property currently zoned as?
Is currently zoned as an R1.
And what does that require with regard to the minimum rental period in an R1 zoning district?
That it has to be 3 months or more. I'm sorry, 6 months.
Okay, 6 months or more?
That's correct.
Okay, and this particular property had been found in violation before of that same code section.
It has.
And so the letter of April 14th was issued to the property owner. Did you get any response from the property owner with regard to the letter?
I did not, and I do not believe Deputy Snyder did as well.
Okay. In the packet on page 61, it shows the green card or receipts. Is that what reflects that the letter was sent by certified mail?
It was.
All right. And as for the notice of violation, have there been a violation that was cited and brought before the local ordinance violation calendar in Pinellas County?
There was.
Okay. And I want to show you pages 64 through 73. Ask if you could take a look at those and explain to us what each one of those pages reflect in the packet.
Yeah, so due to the previous violations, Deputy Snyder issued a notice to appear to Mr. Stepanek for the violation. He also recorded his findings in the issuance of the notice to appear under the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office case number SO20360491. Ultimately, Mr. Stepanek responded to the NTA and essentially pled guilty and paid the fine.
And the NTA, what is that acronym for?
Notice to appear.
Okay. And so those are the documents that I just referenced?
That's correct.
All right. And subsequent to that, and following our last hearing last month, which was on March 22nd, I think, did Deputy Snyder or yourself go out to the property to determine whether it was in violation or not?
Deputy Snyder did go out there and determine that the property did have new renters and was again in violation.
And was there a body camera video and audio recording done?
There was.
Okay. And that's what we're about to play today?
That's correct.
Okay. If we can play that, please. And when was this body camera evidence taken?
The same day, I believe, the notice went out, but it will be indicated there as March 26th, 2021.
Okay, and can you explain why there's no audio?
Yeah, so the body camera will take 30 seconds of video before it starts recording audio, so we should have audio momentarily.
And the audio that we're going to hear is of Deputy Snyder doing the inspection?
That is correct. He was making contact with the new renters and determining how long and for how much they rented the property for.
Okay, let me just listen there. This is the property located at 604 Normandy Road?
It is.
What time of the day is this video taken?
That's taken at 7:14 in the morning.
coaches or renters to say that, yeah, it's all right. You're not in any trouble, and to put you in a position where you have to lie to the guy, you don't need to do it. It is what it is. Yeah. This house is supposed to be rented for 6 months or more. Right. The whole area is zoned for, longer term rentals. He's doing weekly or 2 weeks. Yeah, so I know, it's again, did you rent it? Yes. How long? It's been a week. You remember when you're supposed to check in and check out dates wise? It was Friday last week. You checked in? Yeah. When you guys checking out? We're checking out tomorrow morning. Okay, tomorrow. Okay. You remember how much you paid for the rough guess? Just 3, because the last 2 weeks was 7,000. So 3 or 4,000. Yeah. Okay. Airbnb, VRBO. Do you remember which one you saw it on? My wife actually booked it. Yeah. It was an online. Okay, online. And then just first and last name, and I'm leaving. My first name is Clay. Clay. Last Friday, checking out tomorrow, Saturday. Okay. That's all it was. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Megan. So Deputy, then, from what I'm getting out of that, then, that this property was rented, he says for a week, but it was from the 19th to 27th, doing the math, correct?
That's correct.
And he was renting it for $3,000 to $4,000 during that time frame?
That's what he stated.
Okay. So did Deputy Snyder issue a notice of violation a notice of violation on March 26th, the same day that he was there?
He did.
All right. And what did he cite the property owner with in that notice of violation?
A violation of the short-term rental code, which is 110176.
Okay, and that is the letter that is page 75 and 76 in the packet?
That's correct.
Okay. And did he also issue a statement of violation and a notice of hearing for today?
He did.
All right, and those are reflected in pages 77, 78, 79, and 80?
That is correct.
All right. Was there any contact by the property owner after the letter was sent?
Not to my knowledge.
Is the property in compliance now?
There have been no more noted violations since this incident.
So today's hearing then is just asking the special magistrate to find a violation from the 19th to the 27th?
That's
of March?
correct.
Okay. All right. I have no other questions of the deputy. Again.
All right, Mr. Trask, we'll go ahead and move in as exhibit number 1, pages 53 through 82.
Thank you.
Of the exhibit packet. I know we asked before the hearing, is Mr. Stepanek here, or anyone on behalf of Mr. Stepanek here? All right, anyone representing the property owner at 7875 2nd Avenue South? Okay, the record will reflect that nobody is coming forward on behalf of the respondent or property owner. Mr. Trask, anything else?
Nothing
Any of the
from
witnesses?
city. I would like to summarize after the public input is done, if there is any.
All right, yeah, let me just ask for that. Okay, we are now to the point of this hearing where we will go ahead and entertain any public comment. So if there are any members of the public that want to provide any information to me in regard to 7875 2nd Avenue South or case number 2021.023, 604 Normandy Road, please come forward now. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public comment. Go ahead, Mr. Trask.
So we're looking, by the way, this is the 4th repeat violation case. There was the original uniform citation that was given where there was an admittance of guilt. There were 3 cases last month on this same property, so this is the next one. We're asking that you find that there was a violation from March 19th through March 27th and assess a $500 a day fine.
All right. Ms. Trask, I do find that based on the preponderance of the evidence, there was an additional repeat violation. I do recall the several cases from last month where I went ahead and found that there were repeat violations, in addition to the fact that he'd already been even found in violation before then. So I do agree that it is appropriate, based upon the city code, for a $500 a day fine from March 19th through March 27th. And I'll go ahead and enter that order. Anything else on case number 2021.023?
No, there's nothing else on that case.
All right, the next case on the agenda is case number 2021.025 at 13100 Boca Ciega Avenue. Is the city ready to proceed?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Trask.
So I'd call the same deputy. Deputy, is this a proactive case or was this a complaint?
I believe this was a complaint.
This property at 13100 Boca Ciega Avenue here in Madeira Beach is owned by whom?
It's currently owned by Miriam Rodriguez of Los Angeles, California.
And how do you know that?
That is what is reflected on the property appraiser and the tax collector.
Okay. And what was the complaint that was received for this particular property?
That the property was in violation of the short-term rentals.
All right. And what is the zoning category that this property is in?
This property is an R2, which is 3 months.
A minimum of 3 months rental?
That's correct.
Okay. So, did Deputy Snyder go out to the property and find the violation himself? And if so, did he do it by body camera?
He did.
Okay. And do we have that body camera today?
We do.
Okay. So Megan, if you could play that. And as we're looking at that, Deputy, can you tell us on what date this body camera was taken and approximately what time of the day?
Yes, so this is March 31st, 2021, and it's at 07:40 a.m.
So Deputy Snyder is approaching 13100 Boca Ciega Avenue?
He is.
Morning, I'm sorry for bothering you so early. How you doing, man? 30 seconds of your time. It said do rental inspections. It takes 30 seconds. Just a couple of questions. You guys renting? Yeah, for the week. For the week? Okay. 1 week. you guys check in? When do you guys check out? We check in on, Saturday? Saturday at 12. So today's, Wednesday, so you're checking out on Saturday to Saturday? I think we're checking out on Friday. Saturday to Friday? Yeah. And then, do you remember how much you paid for the week? Roughly? Like 400 a night? Okay. And then, do you remember Airbnb or VRBO? Do you remember which one it was? For the ad? I don't remember. I think it was Airbnb. Airbnb, okay. And, do you guys drive down? Okay, that's a long drive. Oh, yeah, we're from Michigan. Yeah, no, I know, I saw the tag, I'm like, that's a long drive, so, let's see, okay, Saturday to Friday, 400 a night, Airbnb, and then just a name, that's it. My name? Yeah. I'm Ben. You're Ben? I'm Simon. Got it, that's it. Go back to bed, man. Appreciate it, thank you very much. Right. Take care.
Okay, Megan, thank you. So, Deputy, what I gathered from that is this family is from Michigan. They're staying a week from March 27th to April 2nd. They're paying $400 a night for it, and they did it on an Airbnb. Did I get that?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. So that was on March 31st. The letter that was sent was also sent, the courtesy notice sent to the property owner on March 31st as well. That's on pages 87 through 91, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And then the short-term rental investigation notes, that was on page 89, reflecting that?
That is correct.
All right. And was there another rental of the same property after that?
That's correct. April 9th, 2021, Deputy Snyder identified a new set of renters in the same property.
Okay, and did he do the same type thing where he's got a body camera video of that as well?
He did.
Okay, and do we have that today?
We do.
Okay, Megan, could you play that? What day is this taken? Approximately what time is it?
This is going to be April 9th, and it's 8:17 in the morning.
Same property, 13100 Bogaciga Avenue?
That's correct.
Morning, sorry to bother you. That's okay. Real quick, just have to do a real fast rental check. This is part of it's a licensed rental. Just have to check on the terms that you rent it for. Okay. Real quick. I know, it's silly. I might. Yeah, it's silly. It'll take 30 seconds. Is the rental, you rented it? Yes. How long did you rent it for? A week. A week, okay. Do you recall the site that you rented it from? Airbnb, very good. And then, remember how much you paid for the week? $3,000. I think the taxes and everything, it was $3,300. Okay. And then, the date? The 3rd through the 9th. Is this one yours here, Alabama, is that correct? The car, yes. Okay. Can I get your first and last name and that's it? Andrea, Andrea. Welsh, W-E-L-S-H. That's it. Thank you very much. Easy. Okay. Have a good day. Take care.
So what I get from that is she's from Alabama. She's staying a week from April 3rd to April 9th. She paid $3,300 for the week. It was an Airbnb, and her name was Andrea Welch.
That is correct.
Okay. The rest of the packet that we have here, can you explain what pages 93 and on are in the packet?
Yeah, so 93 through 94 is a printout of the Airbnb listing. Clearly, it's the same house. Then we move into the affidavit of service, the statement of violation, and the request for the hearing, as well as the notice of hearing. As a similar in other cases, the affidavit of service lists the chronological order in which, it lists the dates in which these notices were sent out, both certified and regular mail. The statement of violation lists in chronological order each date a violation was observed and the subsequent response to each violation. And then, of course, we set the hearing for today.
All right, is the property in compliance now?
There are no further noted violations since this last notice.
Okay, so the purpose of today is to find the property in violation for the possible use as a repeat violation case in the future?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, thank you. I would tender into evidence those pages that were used in this case and ask that they be received into evidence.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and accept into evidence exhibit number 1, which will be pages 83 through 101 of the agenda packet. Is Ms. Rodriguez here? Anybody on the behalf of Ms. Rodriguez? All right, come on up. And are you Ms. Rodriguez?
No, I'm not.
Okay, what is your name?
Audra Blinn,
Can you spell that for me?
AUDRABLINN.
E-L-I-N-N.
That is correct.
All right. Ma'am, are you a lawyer, property manager? What is your...
Property manager.
Property manager. All right. Okay, so ma'am, at this point in the proceeding, you have the right to ask some questions of the deputy. I'm going to give you, in a few minutes, an opportunity to tell me anything else you want to tell me, but this is specifically the time to cross-examine the deputy.
Okay.
Are there any questions you have for the deputy at this time?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Can we please verify the date of receipt on the green card for the certified letter?
Talking about the certified return receipt,
Correct.
does not appear that they were included in this packet. However, Deputy Snyder completed an affidavit saying that he set the hearing. He sent them out both certified and regular mail on the 15th. Additionally, I did receive a phone call from Mrs. Rodriguez confirming that she was in receipt of them.
Okay, so the date of receipt on the green card with her signature is it signature required, or?
Generally, the post office is writing that due to COVID-19, they are not required.
Or- Okay, and that would be the 15th of April, correct?
Well, that's when it was mailed.
Okay, so
There would have been
there's
days for it to travel to.
no- Okay, so we don't actually have a date when she received the certified letter?
I do not know which day she actually received the letter.
Okay. And since the letter was sent out by Deputy Snyder, has there been any violations after that?
Well, there was the 2 violations, but there's been no violations after the second one.
Okay. I'd just like to add that I'm responsible for the Airbnb listings, so I have made some corrections since then. One of them is on the
Hold on. I'm going to give you a chance to tell me all this in just a second. Are there any other questions you have for the deputy
No,
at this point in time? All right. Don't go very far. I don't know if Mr. Trask has anybody else, so don't go very far.
We have no other witnesses on this case.
All right. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name right. Is it Alin?
Audra.
Audra?
Blinn.
Okay. Ma'am, this is now your opportunity to tell me anything you want to tell me about the violation or the property or anything else, so please go ahead.
Since then, I've made several corrections to the Airbnb listing. The main header now reads 3-month minimum, summer rental beach house, prime area. The second correction that I made to that listing is that you are physically unable to book anything less than a 90-day stay.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Trask, do you have any questions for the owner's representative?
I do. Have you had an opportunity to determine whether or not the property was rented for a period of time less than 3 months?
Not that I'm personally aware of, no.
Okay. You're not aware of the fact that, well, you've watched the body camera testimony today, correct? Correct. Okay. Were you the property manager that allowed those two violations to occur?
I don't have, access to allow bookings. I only have access to create the website for her,
Okay.
create the listing, but I don't have the ability to accept or not accept.
Okay, but you don't dispute the fact that the property was used as a short-term rental prior to today's date?
Absolutely not.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, ma'am, anything else you want to tell me?
No, sir.
All right, have a seat, we're going to open it up to public.
Okay, thank you.
All right, this is the point in the hearing where we open it up to public comment. If there is anyone here that would like to provide any public comment on case number 2021.025 at 13100 Boca Ciega Avenue, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public comment. Mr. Trask, I'll go ahead and give it to you to conclude on this one.
So just as summary, the city would ask that you find that there was a violation of section 110-201 and section 34-503. 110-201 is the requirement that the property be not leased or rented for a period less than 3 months. You've heard testimony today that it was done twice for that less than that period of time. We're also asking that you find a violation of section 34-503, registration required. There is a requirement that that the property owner has to register. That has not been done. And so we're asking that you do find a violation of both those code sections. We're not asking for you to assess a fine, but should the property fall into violation again, that it would be considered a repeat violation for those future possible violations.
All right, Mr. Trask, the only question I have on that is just a procedural issue.
Mm-hmm.
I saw initially where the registration section was mentioned in, I think, one of the first courtesy letters. And I'm just trying to make sure that there's not a procedural issue here, because I didn't see it in the notice.
You're right, it was not included in the notice of violation, so it would not be appropriate to go forward on that, even though it was in the courtesy notice.
All right, so, Ms. Rodriguez, why don't you come on back up? Just so you're aware, so you don't have to come represent the property owner again, there is a registration requirement that exists within the city code, and that's under section 34-503, where the property has to be registered. I'm not going to find it in violation because there's a technical issue where that didn't come through, but I would encourage you to talk to the city and make sure you go through that registration requirement, because even if you're leasing it beyond the minimum time, you may still have an issue there. So what I'm going to do today is I find that there was a violation. I'm not going to impose any fine or anything like that at this point in time. It sounds like you've taken the corrective action to make sure that this property is not a short-term rental as defined by the code. So all I'm going to do is enter an order that says it was in violation. I'm not going to enter any fine. If, however, it comes back before me at a later point in time and we find out that the owner is indeed renting it for less than 3 months, the city then can ask me to impose a $500 a day fine for every day that it's leased as a short-term rental. And again, I would encourage you, even though it's not going to be in my order because it's not technically before me, to make sure that the owner complies with section 34-503 so that you don't have to come back before me at some point in the future. Okay?
I have a quick question. Would that be the little card with the registration on it that's supposed to be posted?
I'm going to defer you to
Is that what we're
Mr.
referring
Trask
to with that violation specifically?
I'm not sure what it looks like visually, but if you come into City Hall, ask for it under that particular code section, they'll be able to help you with that.
Okay. I do have that, and I did post it in plain view, and I did take pictures. Am I able to admit that into any exhibits today?
I tell you what, it's not before me right now. You're not the owner's not in violation for that. So again, as the city attorney just said, I would just encourage you, in fact, you might be able to do it today or at the end of today's hearing if you want to stick around and just check with the city to make sure that the property is in full compliance with that particular section. So Thank you so much for taking the corrective action. I know the city and the neighbors all appreciate that. All right, that concludes case number 2021.025. Let's move on to the first case on old business, which is 2020.1258, 546 Johns Pass Avenue. Is the city ready to proceed?
Yes, we are.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Trask.
So I'm going to call Holden Pinkard to testify in this case. Holden, if you could please state your name and your job responsibilities here at the city.
Holden Pinkard, I do building code compliance in the city and issue building code violations.
Okay, this particular property was before the special magistrate last month, I believe, 546 Johns Pass Avenue. This property is owned by whom?
Jeffrey and Michelle Helms.
Okay, and you know that by way of the tax collector and property appraiser's records?
Correct.
Okay. In the packet that we have today, it's listed on pages 102 through 105. You have those in front of you where you could take a look at that?
Yes.
Okay. And so that reflects the tax collector and property appraiser's records reflecting who the owner is?
Correct.
Okay. And then following that is the special magistrate order from last month. Is that correct?
Correct.
In the special magistrate order, there was a requirement that the property be brought into compliance by April 21st, 2021. Was it brought into compliance by that date?
No.
Did you issue a notice of hearing for today and also an affidavit of non-compliance as of that date?
Yes.
Okay, when did you issue the affidavit of non-compliance? What date was that?
It was April 22nd,
Okay.
2021.
So there were a few things left that had not been completed by that time frame?
Correct.
Okay, but so you issued a notice of hearing for today?
Correct.
Okay, and that was also issued by you under your name?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's all the questions I have for Mr. Pinkard at this time. I do have other witnesses.
All right, is anyone here on behalf of the owners of the property at 546 Johns Pass, or the owners themselves, Mr. and Mrs. Helms? Hello. All right, come on up. And what is your name? All right, Ms. Helms. Okay, at this point in the proceeding, this is your opportunity to ask Mr. Pinkard any questions about his testimony. Again, I'm going to give you a chance, just like the other owner, to tell me anything you want.
I don't think we need to go this far.
Okay, then I'll take that as no questions for Mr. Pinkard. So, have a seat. Mr. Trask is going to call his next witness. You can come back up.
So I'd call Mr. DeSantis as the building official. Mr. DeSantis, you've already been sworn in earlier. Did you do an inspection of this property after April 22nd?
Yes,
Okay, and when did you do your inspection of this property?
I believe it was last Friday.
That was April 23rd?
Yes. I'm sorry, Thursday, 1 o'clock. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right, so is the property pretty much in compliance?
Yes.
What is left to bring it into compliance?
Just some permit documentation that needs to be corrected from the contractor on record.
Okay. How much time do you think that would take for that contractor of record to do the paperwork?
It shouldn't take 2 or 3 days.
Okay. So if we were to ask the special magistrate to extend the compliance date out to April 30th, do you think that would be sufficient enough for the paperwork to be completed to bring the property into compliance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I don't have any other questions of the building official.
Ms. Helms, come on back up. I should have just had you stand close. I didn't know it was going to be that short. Ma'am, you've heard the questions Mr. Trask has had. Again, this is your opportunity to ask any questions of Mr. DeSantis based on what he told me.
I don't have any questions.
All right, ma'am, you can go ahead and have a seat. Mr. Trask, any other witnesses?
No, but I would tender in evidence documents 102 through 115.
All right, we'll go ahead and accept into evidence as exhibit number 1, the pages of the agenda packet, 102 through 115. Any other witnesses, Mr. Trask, at this time?
No, sir.
Ms. Helms, come on back up. Sorry about that. You're getting your workout today. Ms. Helms, I'm sure you've heard what they've said. They essentially want me to give you another week or so to, it sounds like you're bringing your property into compliance, so thank you for that. It sounds like they need another week or so. Is there anything you want to tell me?
Basically done. the contractor has some personal issues right now with his family, and as soon as he's done, he'll have to meet with Frank, and it's all over.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anything else you want to tell me?
Want me to sit down?
Huh? I think you can sit down. I don't think we're going to need anything else. We'll see if there's any members of the public that want to comment, so you can go ahead and sit down. All right. And I'm sorry, Ms. Helms, is there anybody you want to call on your behalf? Anybody else? Okay. She's shaking her head no, so no other witnesses on behalf of the owner. All right, this is the portion of the hearing where we'll open it up to public comment. Does anybody want to provide public comment on case number 2020.1258, 546 Johns Pass Avenue? Seeing none, we will go ahead and close public comment. Mr. Trask, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. As the testimony reflected, the city thinks that the property owner can bring the property into compliance by April 30th. We'd like you to consider extending the compliance date until April 30th to bring the property into compliance. And should it not be brought into compliance by that time frame, we'll bring it back to you again next month. We're hoping that it will, and we can avoid any fine situation. So just an extension from April 21st to April 30th.
Procedurally, Mr. Trask, what would you propose that I do? So do it in amended order and kick out the compliance deadline, push out the compliance deadline, or just enter a separate order extending the compliance deadline?
So I think it'd be more appropriate to do a separate order extending it. It would be fairly limited. I think it would just reference the previous order, the fact that it had been found in violation, and that you're extending the compliance date till April 30th. That's what the city would request. Separate order. That way, I think that if there is subsequent procedural history in the case, if something doesn't happen the way we want, we could show that there was an order, then there was another order versus an amendment.
Ms. Helms, do you understand what the city's asking me to do? Do you have any objection, or do you want me to give you more time past the 30th?
I don't, it's all going to depend on the builder.
Here, come on up so you're on the record.
It's really going to depend on the health of his wife. So as soon as the builder can get from his personal issues to get over to meet with Frank, is there much more that we have to do? I mean, everything, you have an invoice you're going to give me today, right?
I have all the documentation. All I need is the contractor to come in and revise several different documents. Once that's done and both invoices are paid for, we're going to close the PO out.
Can you give me that invoice today?
I'm sorry?
Can you give me that invoice today?
I believe we can, yep.
Okay. Then it's just a matter of signature.
Okay, that's fine. What we'll do, ma'am, is I'm going to go ahead and do what the city's asking and give you till the 30th to comply. It sounds like that you've done what the city's asked you, and I'm sure they appreciate that. If for whatever reason, due to the circumstances beyond your control or health of the contractor is an issue, then I'll be back here in 30 days from now, and I'll give you another extension of time at that point in time.
Whatever they need.
We'll go ahead and I'll just do an order extending it to the 30th since that's what the city's asked for, and it sounds like all the paperwork is in. So that'll be the order that I enter today. If there's a problem, I'll see you again in 30 days, and hopefully it'll get taken care of by then. All right, thank you, Ms. Helms. Thanks for coming today. Is there any other business before me today?
No, there is not.
All right, that concludes today's special magistrate hearing on code enforcement. Is there anything else that's before me today?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Trask. Thank you, other members of the city. I'll go ahead and get the other orders out promptly.
Thank you.